Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold and the Beautiful official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Friday, January 5 spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful indicate that John Finnegan will discuss Xander Avant's visit to his office and all of the Thomas Forrester trashing he did in more detail. Finn was forced to stop talking about this by Steffi Forrester, but he almost called Hope Logan right away to tell her what he had discovered and to show worry for her safety. Hope is aware of the circumstances surrounding Emma Barber's death, of course, but she can bring up the fact that the police determined that reckless driving was to blame for the collision. Since Steffi told him, Finn is aware of that as well, but that doesn't mean he can ignore Xander's charge and how fervently he wanted to hold Thomas accountable. Finn will warn Hope and advise her to exercise caution since he fears that Thomas might not have changed after all. Naturally, Hope will have some old grievances brought up by this and be plagued by all that has transpired in the past. After Finn tells her all the disturbing information he's uncovered, Hope will be greatly reminded of Thomas's part in concealing Beth Spencer's survival. As a result, Hope will be quite troubled. Thomas will be anxious for a different cause in the interim, as Steffi will keep him informed about Xander's slanderous remarks. Thomas may come to the realization that he needs to handle the situation after he sees how passionate Finn is about defending Hope. Thomas will undoubtedly become enraged at Finn for making Steffi feel uncomfortable and worry about how Finn's disclosure to Hope may impact the situation. Thomas could decide to track Hope down and reassure her, since the last thing he wants is for Finn to undo the progress they've achieved together in recent months. Ridge Forrester will next chat with Carter Walton and Brooke Logan in Eric Forrester's John McCook office on Friday's B&B episode. They may talk about Eric's recuperation. There will undoubtedly be some discussion about Thomas as well, so if things go south with Hope, Brooke could be concerned that Thomas would turn back. Ridge feels that Thomas has made a genuine change in his life, but Brooke will always be haunted by the awful things he did. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter could also have an opportunity to comment on Thomas, so tune in to hear what he has to say. Despite declining Thomas Forrester's proposal, Hope Logan is suddenly seen wearing his engagement ring around her neck, according to spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful. Hope was to hold on to that ring for the time being, but Thomas said he was prepared to wait until she was ready for marriage. Additionally, there was discussion about keeping the proposal private, so Thomas agreed that Catherine Kelly Lang's character Brooke Logan would be quite upset if she found out. Brooke's outburst seems to have been foretold by Thomas, since she will eventually find out and lose it. Ultimately, Hope remained silent when it came to taking the ring off her chain. Is Hope truly under the impression that she can ignore her curious mother's curiosity and continue to wear a massive, brilliant engagement ring around her neck? It's just a matter of time until Brooke discovers something that truly horrifies her, because that's not going to happen. When Brooke finds out that Thomas has previously proposed, a lot of red lights will go up. Even though Hope is secretly a little worried, she may counter that Thomas isn't pressing her and say that the gesture was genuinely kind. She might let Brooke know that Thomas isn't pushing Hope to the altar. Naturally, Brooke would believe that Hope is overlooking Thomas's clear warning signals. Maybe Brooke will demand that Thomas's fixation with Hope returns in full. Brooke could then declare that Hope must end her relationship with Thomas immediately. Now that Thomas is discussing marriage, Brooke could worry that Hope is placing herself in danger. That is the last thing Brooke wants, so she will undoubtedly warn Hope and be concerned about the outcome of everything. Brooke could use information on Xander Avant's claim in her defense of Thomas if she receives any updates on it. Hope's mother will advise her to go while she can, but will Hope heed her advice? Fans of B&B will be curious to see Hope's response to all of Brooke's and John Finnegan's criticism of Thomas. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope will have a lot of complex emotions to work through. Follow along for updates on her decision. The spoilers for Thursday, January 5's episode of Bold and the beautiful show that Steffi Forrester believed Sander Avant was fabricating his charge against Thomas Forrester in retaliation for his termination. Steffi brought up the fact that Sander had reported the incident to the police, who concluded that irresponsible driving was to blame for Emma Barber's accident. John Finnegan concurred with Steffi's worries, stating that losing Hope may be the tipping point for Thomas. Steffi was more concerned about Hope Logan, Annika Noel, exploiting Thomas. Steffi believed Finn was siding with Hope after he brought up Thomas' problems and stated that Hope deserved to be safeguarded. Finn refuted it, but he did bring up Thomas's horrific past and all the agony he had brought around. With an angry nudge, Steffi persisted that Thomas was not to fault for Emma's accident and forced Finn to back off. After Steffi calmed down a little, she embraced Finn and called him baby, pleading with him to stop. Thomas playfully questioned Hope in the Forrester Creations design studio whether she was certain she wouldn't decide not to accept his proposal. But Thomas soon reassured Hope that he knew she wasn't ready yet and that he was prepared to wait. Hope looked thoughtful and caressed the engagement ring on her necklace. Hope stated that she hated to let Thomas down, but he claimed that she didn't. Reiterating that he understood Hope wasn't ready, Thomas said that she would know she was the only woman for him in the interim. Hope gave Thomas a kiss, but she didn't look very comfortable. Later, Steffi discovered Thomas by himself and provided information on Sander's appearance as Finn's patient. While Steffi argued that the news was significant since Sander believed Thomas was to blame for Emma's death, Thomas didn't understand why it important. Hope thought this was about Thomas after Finn called her into his office. After learning what he did, Finn claimed he was more concerned than ever about Hope's relationship with Thomas. After Finn clarified that Sander Avant had arrived as a new patient, he added Sander had made a very startling claim. Finn brought up Steffi's belief in her brother, but he was afraid because Sander had charged Thomas with being the reason for Emma's unfortunate outcome. Do you now see why I'm worried about you so much? On Thursday's B&B episode, Finn questioned an astounded Hope. In the meanwhile, Luna Nozawa told R.J. Forrester that Bill Spencer may be the one to permanently alter Poppy Nozawa's life. Bill had a long history with women, so R.J. warned Luna not to anticipate too much from their first date. Luna wasn't sure what Poppy's type was, but based on their past interactions, she surmised that Bill may be her type. Luna had grown accustomed to not having her father in the photo because it had always just been she and Poppy. RG questioned Poppy about whether she had ever acknowledged her father by name, realizing that Luna couldn't ignore what she hadn't known. Luna stated that Poppy hadn't and proposed that her mother had only mentioned that she was created out of love. Luna didn't appear to be attempting to arrange a marriage, but she did sound optimistic about Bill and Poppy's future together. Though Luna adored happy endings, RG felt that thinking about a wedding was a bit too much. After all this time, Luna said perhaps Bill would finally give Poppy one. Poppy admitted at Il Giardino that she did, after all these years, recall Bill. Poppy had never forgotten that amazing night, and she never would. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.